Welcome back to the show. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad they are back doing this. This is the third time they're doing their big chili challenge, and that is Stray Dog Brewing Company. I'm joined by Marc Plante, the co-owner of Stray Dog. Welcome, Marc. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I said to you when I walked into the green room, and I'm looking around at all the guests, and I knew who the brewer was right away without even seeing the T-shirt.
Yeah,
right?
It's kind of a dead giveaway. I know.
Let's introduce some of our viewers that haven't met you before. Tell us a little bit about Stray Dog and sort of the inspiration behind it.
Absolutely. So Stray Dog Brewing Company started in 2017. We were the first microbrewery to open up in Orleans, and really it's just a passion project that turned into a business for myself and my partner Justin. So we were home brewers at first.
Okay.
And then we basically just took that, and we were submitting some of our beers to some competitions, and we were doing quite well. And
nice.
We thought, here's a burgeoning scene in Ottawa. I think we'd like to be a part of it. And so, we opened our doors in 2017, and it's been 5 great years since. So we're very excited to be part of the community.
Yeah, you mentioned the burgeoning scene here in Ottawa. Tell me a little bit, even the growth from 2017 to 2022 that you've seen, because I know you're a really close-knit community, right? Although you're competing against each other, of course, but I think it's much like our culinary community here in Ottawa, where you have a great respect for each other as well.
Yeah, I mean, as the saying goes, rising tides float all boats, and so really for the craft beer community, if we don't all sort of support each other and work together as small businesses, we may fail. And so really it's kind of nice to have those friendly relationships, and it's friendly competition as well, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But everybody does something a little bit different, and at the same time, we have those relationships with those other breweries where if we're out of an ingredient or we need something really quick, we can phone somebody up and say, hey, can we borrow a bag of grain or some yeast and that kind of thing. So it's been great.
What do you think differentiates you from the other craft breweries here in the region?
That's a really good question, actually. I think we concentrate on we make beer that we enjoy,
right?
And that's not to say that other breweries don't do the same thing, but we really concentrate a lot on IPAs. We're a little bit of hop heads, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also like to have a lot of fun with our beers, and we do that in the names that we choose for the beers and the write-ups that we have and some of the images that we do as well.
We'll talk about that in just a minute, but let's talk about this chili challenge. Where did that idea come from?
Well, I love chili, so actually the idea came from my stomach.
Nice.
The first time we ever did it was actually in February, and it was just after the Super Bowl. And I realized that a lot of these restaurants may have some leftover chili, and who doesn't love chili, winter, and football? And so we thought that was really, and it's kind of our slow season as well.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of an incentive to get people back into the tap room and just have a good time with a social lubricant, which is beer, and delicious chili from local restaurants.
And I would imagine, depending on the style of beer, probably makes an excellent pairing with chili, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people associate wine and food as really good pairs, but in reality, beers are actually a lot easier to pair with food. And so, there's a couple here that
walk us through. What have you brought with you here?
Yeah, so I brought just a small selection of some of the beers that we currently have available to go in the tap room.
Okay.
We have this light beer, which is right now it's called Top Shelf, and it's actually a fundraiser that we did for the Gloucester Cumberland Girls Hockey Association.
Oh, excellent. Fantastic.
And then we have Anytime, which it's 5%. It's a pale ale. You can enjoy that anytime. It's one of our mainstays. Then we have our PB and JD. So we took our beloved Jeanne d'Arc oatmeal stout, and we added some roasted peanuts on it, just to give it a little nutty back end. Jeanne d'Arc, this is one where, again, it's so versatile because it's an oatmeal stout, great on its own. You can cook with it. I've made some incredible chilies and stews with it. And also you can pair it with chocolate. You can have it with a nice, deep, rich, meaty meal.
Okay.
Shaggin' Wagon right over here, that's our New England IPA, so very hazy, more fruit forward, I guess you can say. A little bit sweeter as well, 6.4%. So the nice thing about this one is if you're having something that's spicy, that sweetness will actually cut the heat. So it makes for a really nice pairing for a spicy chili.
Makes a nice little contrast for you.
Yeah, and then finally we have this one, which is our California Common. It's our first beer that we ever made. A little bit more amber in color, a little bit more toasty, a little biscuity. And again, it's one of those things that just is very versatile with all different types of beer.
Marc, what about your growth? So how many beers did you start with? Where are you now? now?
So we started off with 3 main beers.
Okay.
I think in the last 5 years we've done over 80 types of beers. Some never see the light of day again, and that's not because we don't like them, but it's just we have so many different ideas that we want to do. And then of course we have our flagship beers, so the ones that this one, Shaggin' Wagon, and Anytime are always our mainstays. And then we have some seasonals. So Jeanne d'Arc is our winter seasonal.
Okay.
And then we do a lot of one-offs, just things that are fun.
It must be. I was going to ask you about what's that creative process like for yourself and your co-owner, and how do you come up with the different flavors? How does that work?
You know what? It's funny going back to how inclusive our craft beer community is. We really are inspired by other breweries and like to see what they do. And also when you go out and you eat something or you drink something, you're like, oh my gosh, this would be really great as a beer, or maybe this particular flavor. And so really it's just using your environment around you to inspire.
The Chili Challenge is happening on November 20th. You've got some celebrities, our colleague Sam Laprade being one of the celebrities.
Very happy to have Sam on board, and she's going to put her palate to the test. We also have Frank Chabot and Tracy Lawson-Brathwaite from the Orleans Foodie Group, so they know their food and their chili. We have our counselor, Matt Luloff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
excellent.
So he's super happy. And then we have Fred Sherwin from the Orleans Star, who will be there as well. So, they're pretty happy to be there, and we're excited to have them.
So you'll have, a judge's choice, and then does the public get to choose as well?
Yes, and so, there's two prizes, basically.
Okay.
So one is judge, so chili's a little bit more intense, so color, aroma, flavor, the way it looks, overall impression. And then we invite everybody to come down. It's free to come by.
Excellent.
And everybody gets to sample it. It's blind tasting. And so basically all you do is you just choose your favorite, and it's the people's choice.
Who doesn't want that? Little beer and chili, especially at this weather. It's perfect time. Absolutely.
You got it.
Again, Sunday, November 20th, 1 to 4 p.m. They're located at 50 Locale Way out there in Orleans. We'll be right back.